Well, motive is important because it shows intention. Netra mens rea. It wasn't. I mean, if he had a motive, then that sort of eliminates the whole diminished capacity defense. That hey, I'm sorry, I blacked out. I didn't know what I was doing. No, you had clear motive. Maybe it was to cover up a secret. We don't know at this point. But I do think that prosecutors are going to flesh this out, and we'll know more once the secrecy is lifted from this case. And when you are a juvenile, you do get certain advantages I mentioned before that adults don't have. So not only are the sentencing guidelines in your favor, but also unless you're convicted of first degree murder, but if it's second degree murder, then you will probably get out of prison before you die. But also, there's this case, Miller versus Alabama, that said that a federal court cannot impose a mandatory sentence of life without parole without going through certain things about the young person. You got to look to his past. You got to look to certain characteristics, things that adults don't get. So under Miller, the juvenile will be able to make his case that he shouldn't get a life sentence. You need to go through all these different factors that you don't have to do in an adult case. And even if he does get convicted of secondary murder, like I said, the sentencing guidelines wouldn't necessarily even give him life. So I expect that this young man will get a second lease on life at some point, but he'll be convicted of something that'll keep him incarcerated for a couple decades.